Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from the Federalist dated October 1st. It says it turns out the military's Biden-era recruitment crisis was a leadership problem after all. Yep, you know how Lloyd Austin was there and numbers were going down, and then Pete Hegseth comes in and suddenly everybody's joining again. It's kind of like the border crisis. Turns out it was just a personnel issue. You just needed to get rid of Biden, who said, I can't do anything, and put in Trump, and oh look, he could shut it down immediately. So it says, for first time in a long time, service members have leaders who actually give a damn about the mission and their well-being. And good, they should. As America's propaganda press have wound up with egg on their faces many times over the past several years. And that could not be truer that when it comes to the military recruitment crisis that helped define Joe Biden's failed presidency. On Monday, the Associated Press published a report revealing that the U.S. Marine Corps has reached its recruiting targets for the 2025 fiscal year. Excellent news. Like to see that. Because the achievement follows in the footsteps of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, all of which hit their FY20 fiscal year, 2025 goals once ahead of schedule. Again, all good news. Glad to see that. Naturally, the AP's Konstantin Toropin seemingly did everything he could to downplay the Trump administration's turnaround of the Biden-era recruiting crisis, pinning blame for the disaster on complications from the COVID-19 pandemic. We're seriously still blaming things on COVID 5 years later. Let's see where I was. Tight job markets and the growing generation of young Americans struggling to meet fitness and academic standards. Yes, it definitely wasn't Biden's fault at all. Couldn't be that. Let's just keep not blaming him for things he was obviously responsible for. It says, while noting how the uptick in recruitment began well before President Trump won office again in November, he also conveniently admitted the fact that several of the branch's traditional standards recruits were expected to meet to qualify for service under Biden. It's not hard to see why the AP and other media outlets are so eager to make excuses for the befuddled ex-president and his team's failure to bring in qualified talent to the military. To do so would force them to admit that U.S. leadership does, in fact, matter to those seeking to serve their nation in uniform. For 4 years under Biden, lethality and efficiency were traded in for so-called diversity and inclusion. Left-wing military leadership directed their sights on targeting what they made out to be extremism in the force, aka mainstream conservative beliefs, while America's real adversaries were allowed to expand their geopolitical footprints virtually unchallenged. From the very beginning, the Biden Pentagon's message to patriotic Americans was clear. You're not welcome here. I feel like a sneeze is coming on. One sec. All right, I feel better. Contrast that with despotic vision with the one painted by Trump and War Secretary Pete Hegseth and the remarks to U.S. generals and other high-ranking officers at Marine Corps Base Quantico in Virginia on Tuesday. Both leaders made it unequivocally clear that the military's past embrace of failed leftist dogma is a thing of the past, and that the number one priority for service moving forward will be winning wars. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I said before and I will say again, we are done with that shit, Hegseth said. Good. He's right. As hard as leftists may find it to believe, young men don't want to join a military whose commander-in-chief pushes racist DEI ideology, fires them for not taking an experimental shot, and keeps checking his watch as the bodies of their brothers and sisters in arms arrive home in flag-draped coffins, a tragedy which Biden himself is responsible for. That just makes me think of the Afghanistan thing. And if you haven't, the book by, Jerry Dunleavy, and there's someone else, I don't remember the other author, but it's about the Afghanistan withdrawal. If you want to be pissed off about what Biden did, go read that. It says, they want leaders who love America as much as they do, will stand with them when their backs are against the wall. That's why the military is experiencing the surge in recruitment it's witnessing today. Not because COVID is over or the service has suddenly discovered some magic potion to make recruits fit and smart, but because for the first time in a long time they have leaders who actually give a damn about the mission and their well-being. And there is no amount of media spin that is going to change that. So very good. I'm glad, like I said, to see that all the recruitment numbers are up and everybody seems to be hitting their goals. Always a good thing to see because we need a good, strong Army, Navy, Air Force, and, of course, the Marines. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.